Hello and welcome to another episode of Invalid Entry. My name is James Taylor and we're going to pick up where we left off last time on our Discord community bot. There's no architecture for this one. This episode is just going to get the Discord bot framework up and running as a Django management command, and a very quick demo of why that's useful because it gives us access to the Django ORM in situ. So basically Django management commands, if you haven't seen these before, you probably use them because you do things like make migrations, migrate. Those are all management commands that come with Django. They're sort of built into Django. So I've got a list of them here. You can do them by doing Django manage.py help, and it comes back with a list of commands you have. But you can write your own commands, and they are really easy to write. They are a little bit of a weird thing. So you go to your application. Your application has to be already imported in your settings as an installed application, which we did last time. So in my community, I'm going to make a new folder, which will be a Python module called commands. No, it's not. It's called management. And I don't like the word management because it's got too many vowels. I always spell it wrong. And then inside that, you make another folder called commands. And inside that, you make a new file, which is going to be your actual command. So I'm going to call this runbot.py. It actually doesn't matter what this command is called, because what you're going to do in here is you're going to import the management command thing, which is actually from django.core.management.base import base command. And you may want to do command error. And you shouldn't do unused imports, but that's the idea, is you do that. You then define a class, and it will be a base command class. You should have a help, and this is going to be just a string. So when you actually do in here, you can actually get a list of information. So I can do Python the py help flush, for example, and it gives me the information from flush. In here, there is a way of adding arguments to this, but I'm not going to add arguments because I'm going to get all my arguments from settings. I occasionally you might want to make a command where you pass in like an object ID or something like that, whereas I actually like to just pull my stuff from settings because these commands are going to be long-running commands that I'm going to run in parallel with the actual web server, which will be a uWhisky-based web server. It may actually be an ASGI web server by the end of this, but so it's going to take. That is your signature for a command. There we go. So if I now do Python manage by help, what we should see in here is there is now a new section called community, and it's called runbot, and that runbot lines up with the name of the file. So you don't make this command here. If you call this command something else, that should know this class something else. If I do it foobar, or that isn't foobar, and that again, then it does find it, but it's basically going to pull out the base command in there. So this could be command. So for standard, you show that command. You should use base command or command error if you want to throw an exception. So if you do any argument parsing or there's any situation that comes up, you want to do a command error because you haven't. All your standard error codes in Django are generally web error codes, like they're going to 404. Doesn't make sense when you're on a shell. So there is no 404 status code to return. You want to return like a -1 a return type or a non-zero return type. So what I can now do is manage.py help. What was it? Runbot. That, and it actually is that I spelt management wrong. There we go. And it comes back with the help string that I already said, and it's got bits in here which are the standard management arguments that you can do. So I actually want to override my settings URL and things like that. So they're all part of the Django framework. What this means is that instead of me just running a shell script where I've imported, it's actually instantiated the Django kernel, for want of a better word. So it's already got things like my database objects, the setup, all those things are available. So in here I can do things like from community.models import what was my models now? I can't remember. My models are person. Okay, and I can do person.objects.all count. So that. Now, I don't have to set up my database connection. All that's been done for me by Django. So when I do run bot now, without the help, what it's actually going to do, actually run it, there you go. It's actually said there's one person in there. So I've actually accessed the database. I can even do access that first entry. And I think we did at the end of last session. Oh, sorry. Access the first entry with a 0 in there. And there you go. I've got access to the ORM, so I can start doing really cool things in my Django management command. However, what we want to do is we want to now actually make this a Discord bot. So what we're actually going to do here is bring in basically the frameworks of a Discord bot. I think last time I said I was going to use Jamons. I'm actually going to keep Jamons. For those of you who know who Jamons is a bot I already have. I'm going to keep Jamons as Jamons. I've actually made a new bot called Invalid Entry. He's in the Discord. I will put a link to that at the end of this video. So if you want to join us in Discord, feel free. If you want to talk to the bot, also feel free, because there will be some commands added, although throughout these episodes there'll be better commands added for you to interact and save your settings with him. Or it. I don't know if it's him. It's Invalid Entry. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to import Discord at the top, and we're going to set this up a little bit of person for the moment. Import Discord, and we're going to do the same trick I've shown in the previous video, where we're going to use glob and we're going to use dynamic importing of modules. So we're going to do all that in one go. Okay, so it's going to be from os.path import dir name base module is file and join, and from import lib we're going to want import module, because we're going to do dynamic importing, and also want glob. I wanted to talk about glob at some point. There is a thing called pathlib in Python now, and there is os path, glob, and pathlib, and they're all three are linked, especially glob. And I don't think people necessarily know about glob a massive amount, because it's got one of those weird names, but it's super powerful. I'm also going to make a new folder right now, a new folder in here called called commands. It's going to be commands. Just to new folder, and inside that is going to be a new folder called mods. So inside commands, these ones are not management commands, these are going to be my Discord commands at this point. So in here I'm going to put a new file called commands.py. I realize the namespace of this is commands.commands.commands.py. Actually I'm going to rename that. I'm going to call that bot. There we go, bot. So it's bot.commands from there. So in here we're going to actually just get started and just do the dynamic stuff. So from re import compile, so we're going to compile the command we do when you're talking to the bot. You're going to send a command, and you want to use regex to be able to detect whether it's one of our commands or not. From typing import callable. I've got this pre-done previously, because I'm actually going to do this correctly. On this global, this isn't really a global, but it isn't the nicest thing. So def register command regex str. This is going to be my decorator. So def inner func reg equals compile regex. So I'm going to take that regex and compile it, and then I'm going to append in commands the regex as a regex object. It's going to be equal to the function pointer. So at this point, I return inner. So this is my decorator, and that's going to work really nice for me. I'm going to want tabulate as well. Tabulate is a nice little function. It's actually a third-party library. This is you shouldn't really print in functions in proper OO programming or proper functional programming. You should always return things and let the business logic decide whether it's going to print or not. But I'm in a bit of a hurry here. So what I'm going to do is for key in. I know I can do this as a list comprehension or dictionary comprehension, but I'm just going to do it this way. Key.pattern val. Very nice to do that, and then I'm going to print tabulate, and all that's going to do is sort my formatting out. It's a very cheap way. It's actually, I say cheap way. It's a very code-friendly way of printing a nice output on my console. Okay. I'm also going to want a thing to find an individual command, so I'm going to do def find command with a message, and that is going to return a callable. Look at these type hints. Key val in commands dot items. We're basically going to find the first one that matches. So if key dot search message, because the key is a regex, I can search the message to see if it matches or not, and return val. So those are my three functions that I'm going to use the most, and I'm going to just save that. So I'm just going to go into community command management commands bot. I'm a lot of subpods there. Okay, just run black on it to make sure it's all formatted nicely, which is done. That's nice, that's done. Moving on with my life. So run bot. Lots of space up here in run bot. What we're going to do now is we're also going to, with that framework open, we're able to basically import those commands. So from .bot .commands import print commands, and I think I want find commands because I don't want to print commands and find command. Okay. Client equals discord.client and intents. We're going to pass the intents in here because I didn't do this in my previous video, but we're going to need to do this if we're going to start giving people roles. So I'm just going to do that to begin with. Discord.intents.all. It's a little bit naughty to ask for all intents, but let's face it, at the moment we're doing this quick and dirty, and we're going to come back and clean this up later and give it least permissions later. But this is my management bot. This bot will have access to everything here. Client. What we're going to do first of all is just going to get into log on. So the way we get into log on, first of all, is in the handle. Okay, so in the handle, we'll just do client.run settings.discord. Now, I added to settings earlier my Discord token for the application into my settings, so I can now just do settings to Discord. I didn't import settings, so I do want to do at the top here from Django.conf import settings. Okay. So that should be all I need to do to actually make the bot join the channel. So if I now go back to my original one and do Python man run bot, what we should see here is it all errors out wonderfully. It doesn't like base module, which it's Chris base name. Okay, and it's thinking about it, which makes me think it actually is joining the Discord right now. Alright, bot was working fine. Millers are missing a couple of things. So what we want to do now here is start adding in the client events in. So the first one we'll do is see if he's logged in. .event. And basically this is async def on ready. And basically when he's ready, we want to do print. We have logged in as and then .user. So we see what the actual user is, .format. The client. So we basically get the client at this point, say we've logged in. And also I want to do very quickly is client.event. Again, very quickly, async def on message that gets passed in, and then if just print message dot content. So he's just going to print into this channel what's been sent to him, as he says. Save that, run it. Running valid entry bot. Is he going to connect? There you go, he's connected. All this time he already was connected, he just didn't have the event print out. For some reason I thought that was the thing. So I'm going to do hello there. There you go, he's receiving messages from Discord as I type in. So type into Discord and that works nicely. So with that in mind, we should now be able to continue to control that, start building this bot out a little bit more. So basically the on message command here is where we want to do the most work. 2 lines in between that. I'm going to run very quickly again. Just reformat that file for me. In here, what we're going to do is we're going to build out this function a little bit more to actually do some more things. So first of all, we want to ignore messages that were sent by myself. So the very good thing you should put at the top here is if message.author is equal to the client.user, then we just want to ignore just so you don't end up with any kind of recursive, like you send a message yourself, which causes you to send a message yourself, which causes some and so on. You just basically slow down everyone's day if you do that. So the first thing question is the command. One of the things we haven't actually done, by the way, is we haven't actually imported the modules. So I'm going to do that down here. So before the clients run, what I'm going to do is go do importing modules dynamically, and then we're going to do modules equals glob.glob. Glob is basically allows me to search folders fast. So I could say join the dir name of the current file, wherever that is in the system. I want to put in the bot, and because I made this folder called bot, I also want them to go into the mods folder like that. And this now actually will work on anything which is Windows or Linux or whatever you do. Change your path. The join basically is the same as just doing /////. So that now gives me a nice search, and this returns an iterator, or this, when I call it return an iterator, put on its own line there just so I can debug it. So I can now say for f in modules, which basically now is a file in the folder. If is file, just in case anyone makes a folder called .py in the folder and not f.ends with, I don't want to load init.py. So and there is a bug there where someone makes a file called foo __init __, then that won't work, but I don't care, so I just want to say. Right, and what we'll do, and I'll say ends with, because the actual f here is not the file name, it's actually /bot/mod/file, so that's what I do it ends with there. What I'm going to do here is print what I'm loading. So I'm going to go 3 spaces in so it looks nice. Put 3 dots here. Base name f. I'm just going to get rid of the .py on the end. :-3. So that's going to just chop the last 3 letters off the end. I'm also going to do end equals false here, so it doesn't actually print anything at the end. I'm going to put a space in there. So basically it's got a dot. If it errors at this point, it basically means that it's going to, the last one print will be nice. So I'm going to do module equals import module, and this is .bot.mods plus base name f. Get rid of the .py again. And also, because I'm doing across packages at this point, I will need to actually give it well, I'm not in main. Well, as previously I did this in main. I will actually give the package I'm coming in, which is actually community.management.commands, like that, and then that should work. And I should be able to print OK. So it should be loaded OK. I want to print off the modules that are actually loaded from this. So this won't load anything at the moment. It's going to print just a blank line. There we go. And I'm going to print commands loaded. I'm going to just do print commands. That shouldn't be like that. That's a function call. And then I'm going to do another print line and then print running. Okay, and then that will connect. And the next line you should see is we have logged in as. Okay. Just to test this works, I'm going to go into mods. I'm going to make a new file in mods very quickly, and this file is going to be just a test file, which we're going fast here today. We are going fast here today. So this is going to be test.py. Oh, come on, new file, test.py. In here, I'm going to do from command community.management.commands.bot.commands import register command. I should be able to now decorate this function register command, and I want to give it so it's going to be p or p leads subscribe. Async def please subscribe channel name message await message dot channel dot send yes please subscribe. And that should work, okay, but it won't react right away because I haven't put the hooking in just in the message yet. So what I'm going to do is just go back here a second to my code window and run him. And what we see here straight away, in fact, if I clear this and run him again, you should see he's loaded the test module because the file was called test. He's found this is my regex, and it's bound to a function. So it definitely has bound a function, and if that had not said function or said something else, I'd be a bit more worried, but it's bound to a function. Even better, it thinks there's something called please subscribe, which is the name of my function over here, and it's logged in, okay? Job done. Now what we'll do is actually hook that in. So in message, back here, which is where I was typing, there's a lot here. I know there's a lot here, but we're nearly done. We're so nearly done. First of all, what I do is I'll sanitize the channel name. So for me, what I'm doing is making the channel name into the sort of format of the Discord. They are called servers now, but they used to be called guilds. Okay, so it's message.guild. And I also want to pass in the actual message.channel as well. And then you can start doing rules on whether or not they are or aren't or whatever. They actually want to be strurred because they actually are objects in their own right. I believe I've had problems with these before where I didn't stir them. So I'm going to stir those. The command I want to run, I just throw the content at find command. Find command now runs through and does a regex on it. If the regex matches, this gives me a callable. So I can say if command, because if it doesn't give me anything, it doesn't match, it just throws it away. Okay, so I can then do else pass. I didn't want to do anything with this message. If it did find the command, I can now do await command channel name message. The reason I yanked the channel name out here is because it's a standard thing I wanted to say. Sometimes I want to filter by channel. I will be adding a channel filtering system in the future, so I do want to have the channel name separate, sort of thinking ahead of what I'm going to do. Arguably I could just go through and change all the functionality later, but that's going to run. So now this is tied together. What we can do is clear this again. I never clear my consoles when I'm working personally. I'm only doing that so you guys can see. I'm used to where I'm looking. I remember where I was. I'm very past the parsing, so I very rarely use clear. I know some people use it all the time, and I very rarely use it. Okay, so he's connecting up now. He's got the function. He's logged in. So we should be able to go to here. And my trigger phrase was please subscribe. Okay, so hey there. Hey. It hasn't errored. That's always good. Please subscribe. And he goes, yes, please subscribe. There we go. So the bot framework is now up and running in terms of connecting up Discord bot as a management command. So I can very quickly now, and this is where we start to talk about where the power of this is. Okay, so that was a very hot, intense probing session to get this up and running. I'll run black on these commands as well, just to make it all nicely formatted. The power of this now means I can now go into my function over here. I can now register a new command called stats. I like to put exclamation marks in front of my commands because I like people not to trigger them by accident. This will trigger every time someone at any channel that bot is in says please subscribe. It's going to answer. Even if that's halfway through a message, it's going to answer because it all works in channels as well. So I can now do stats. And the stats command, for example, I might do how many current users are there. So I can now do, as I said earlier, from community.models import person. Is that what it was called? It was called person, yeah. So I can now begin to interact with the database directly in the Discord without doing any real database work, to SQL, anything like that, just using the Django ORM as if it was like a view. So I can now do async def stats command channel name message. I may want to do some security hints that only registered users can do it or only management users can do it. And if you look back here in models, I actually have a thing called a Discord user. And Discord user, I actually had a flag, or was it on person? I thought I had a staff flag. I don't. Yay. I thought I'd put a staff flag. I'm going to go back and put that in the model, so I can say if this is a helper, then they can do these commands. But at the moment I don't, so I can just do person.objects.all.count current registered, current known people, and I can just do await message.channel.send. I know percentage about percentage s. No, where's my percentage gone? People. Percentage current and people. So very, very simple command. I'm just going to restart my run bot, and he doesn't like that because I put a colon in the wrong place there just for fun. So he's now got a stats command, so I can go back to my bot framework and say stats. Any errors? Yay! And I'm going to come back to that straight away. Okay, so this changed. This changed years ago. I just haven't written new Django for a while. One of the things you have to be careful of is if you're in an async function, which also counts for ASGI coroutines, I think, if you're making webhooks, or not webhooks, WebSocket functions inside of a pre-established connection, is you sometimes have to use await to async. So await to async is from the ASGI Django module. And what you have to do is, basically, the easiest thing to do is to put all your synchronous stuff into one function. So I've just put one in here, but I may have multiple counting, so I may have NFTs. So I may do NFTs equals nft.count objects.count and return like an object of all my synchronous functions in one go. Then what you do is you use await to sync to async. So you see await sync to async. The name of the function, not the actual function call. So there's no brackets on here. And then you put your brackets on the end. And if you wanted arguments, if this took like a PK, for example, then you would then put that in that second pair of brackets. So this returns an async call, which is then safe to call, and that runs. With that in place, you should now be able to go into this channel, and you see I've been tested, so you can do stats, and it comes back with, I know about 1 people. Don't worry about the sense. Humanizing isn't necessarily the strong point, because the moment I know about second person, that there's always going to be multiples. So that's it really. As I had to go look it up for my last video, what the URL is. It's tinyurl.com/invite-discord. If you want to join us in Discord, go there. It will give you an invite. You click it, you join. And then you'll be able to talk to Invalid Entry if he's online. Invalid Entry may not be online all the time at the moment, because I haven't done the putting him into a Docker container and deploying that Docker container to his resting page, which will be this little server just here. I can't do this backwards, just there. He'll sit on that little server there. And yeah, join, have fun, and if you register, when the register function comes up online, you will be in line to receive an NFT gift, which will give you exclusive access to early stuff. I say exclusive, anyone with the NFT, which will be a limited access to it. So thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time.